come from a very homosexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
With full-blown receipts, I could fill the audience, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you do.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, The Unpopular Party, hosted by me, Party Next Short. And today we are here to talk about the downfall of Wendy Williams. And this is something that has been brewing. You've seen the documentary that's been out, Where is Wendy Williams? But as someone who is a true Wendy watcher, as someone who's been watching this woman as a child, as someone who has said Wendy Williams is one of their influences to go into commentary and stuff, I think I know exactly what led to the unfortunate downfall of Wendy Williams. And we're gonna talk about that today. If you haven't already or you're new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into this video.
Thought I knew you.
Now, if you've just been living under a rock or you just don't know who Wendy Williams is, Wendy Williams is like an icon when it comes to the TV talk show host realm. But you gotta keep in mind, before she was a talk show host, she was a radio host. That's where she first got her start. And when she was in radio, oh, she was a menace.
Beyonce and the girls, that you all weren't allowed to perform and do a lot of
I'm sorry, can you please not call us Beyonce and the
I
girls?
have to.
Because that is definitely an insult to Kelly and Michelle.
No, I like them, but the attention stays on you. It
I
does.
don't think the attention stays.
Lucy, stop it! Denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay.
One thing about Wendy, she did talk about people, but she was one of them people, she just give the tea to you so piping hot, you just get invested. And Wendy has always been one of them people, say it how you mean it. This is journalism, this is commentary, this is what it is. And Wendy knew a lot of things, nothing was off limit. You may see now how in this new age, people are talking about Diddy. Oh baby, Wendy been talking about that since radio. Let me give you some facts about Wendy from a Wendy fan, because back in 1998, when Wendy was on her radio show, she had been clocking Diddy and been exposed to him for like the craziness he be doing. Allegedly, you know, Suzanne is telling me to use the alleged word, but they know, you know, Wendy has some pictures of him that will put him in a compromising position. Like even picture of Suge Knight playing with his son during the height of the East versus West Coast feud. And once it got back to Puffy, Puffy was like, oh, I want her off the air. He called that radio station, because Bad Boy, even though it was a new record label, they had some big names on there like Lil Kim, Total, and them. Like he was like, look, if you don't get her off that radio station, we're not giving y'all no more music to play on that radio. That's how Wendy got fired, and I think she always had a grudge for him for that. He even had Total, the girl group Total, he even had Total trying to pull up there and jump her.
Remember, I got off the air one day and them total were downstairs waiting, and everybody upstairs at the radio station was looking down, egging it on, waiting for something to go down. I wasn't yet married. My knight in shining armor screeched up in his cord just out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was about to happen. Skell hiding like a girl. Thanks.
When it came to talking about Diddy on her show, she had been called that stuff out with Cassie and Diddy. Now, she was always, not necessarily talking cold, but it was one of those things like, you just had to catch it.
I suggest don't use social media, though, to reach out. I think this was a grand overture from Puffy. I don't believe he really wants her back. I believe he probably treated her at some particular point like a possession. Like a possession. And if you really care, then you'd reach out privately, not publicly.
Eventually, they did, quote unquote, make up, and he popped up on the show. But I always said that was just like a saving face moment. Like, let's just do it for the public. But I never forget, it was a moment in that interview where I can just tell like Wendy's heart just dropped. And with all the recent allegations, you watch this clip and you let me know what you think.
As the mother of a now 16-year-old.
Who I met backstage, he
did?
He's a great young man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You represent a lot.
Wendy been talking about Jay-Z and that alleged baby of his. Talk about some more tea that Wendy Williams used to cover back in the day, okay? Now, and get ready, because we finna have a good drive down memory lane. You remember Free from 106 & Park? Clap if you do. When 106 & Park first started, Free and another co-host, they was hosting and they was doing a really good job. A lot of people vibe with them, a lot of people liked them. Eventually, Free was removed from the show. Now, why would Free, who at this time is a successful host on a successful platform, why would they just remove her? Well, allegedly, there goes Suzanne with the allegedly word, allegedly from what Wendy Williams stated back in the day, Free and Jay-Z was messing off. Allegedly, okay? And Free ended up getting pregnant. Mind you, the narrative was Beyonce and Jay-Z was the power couple, so they couldn't have no Free around here being pregnant by no Jay-Z, you know, showing off the belly, but that just was not gonna work. So apparently, allegedly, she was paid off, given a contract, and to have this secret love child in peace, and they'll be set for life.
Free's real name, and we've heard this before, Maria Wright.
Yeah, Maria Wright, yeah.
But if she's in a hospital delivering a baby, chances are Maria Wright is not on the clipboard because she probably used a fake name. I know when I was delivering my new scooter, do you want to know what my hospital name was? Fabiola Carrington.
Oh!
But I just got this note from Nicole, who's my right arm back there in the office. Free gave birth Monday. 50 and Jay-Z was there. She gave birth in Brooklyn at Methodist Hospital. Oh, hell. Beyonce. Oh. What you gonna do now, B? Heir to the throne is Free's child. Well, girl, you just gave birth to your golden ticket.
But yes, Wendy Williams has always been a menace, but she's always been a person. Say it how you mean it. The popularity grew so much. She was on daytime television, the Wendy Williams show, and she was so famous for her how you doing? And just getting into it in Hot Topic.
How dare you, Mr. Spears? You had me fooled. And you too, Mrs. Spears. Death to all of them.
And Wendy thinks she didn't have another co-host. Her co-host was the audience. How do you think we always be like, clap if you care?
Clap if you care. Clap if you care. Should she suffer? All right, clap if you think she should suffer. Clap if you've ever wanted to kill somebody.
And Wendy will always be like, Suzanne, no claps. Norman, nobody says nothing.
Stop. Hey, stop encouraging them to clap. Suzanne. So you would go see Whitney Houston at Radio City Music Hall? Caught you. I thought we had this conversation. Stop trying to encourage people to clap.
Now the thing is with Wendy, you gotta understand, like, she's not innocent, and she knew with the industry that she in, hey, I'm talking about people, I'm up for grabs as well.
I would ask you to respect our privacy, but please, I don't respect people's privacy. That's why I do the Hot Topics.
And she has some skeletons in her closet. If you don't know, back her day, she used to be addicted to coke real heavily.
I was a functioning addict. I'd report to work on time, and I'd walk in, and all of my coworkers, including my bosses, would know. But instead of firing me, you see, I would grab my headphones and arrogantly walk in the studio and dare them to fire me because I was making ratings. A functioning addict has several alarm clocks. You're organized.
But she's sobered up just so she can have a baby.
I'm a very strong individual, okay? But 3 years ago, I realized that even the strongest person could be broken down, and I had a miscarriage. So, I'm afraid to try again, and I wanted to know, how did you overcome that? Like, how did you decide that you wasn't scared anymore, and you wanted to go ahead and just get pregnant and try again?
I was scared.
Okay.
Except, all right, okay. I had 3 miscarriages before having little Kev. One was 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks, and it was the line of beam, but nevertheless, it hurt. The second one was 5 months. The name was picked out. The nursery was set up. We had purchased clothes. I was out in public. At the time, I was on the radio, so I was talking about it on the radio. I had already gained, because I didn't eat a lot. I gained about 30 pounds in just the 6 months part, and I was on my way. And my water broke. And I went to the hospital, and they hung me upside down in the bed, and the baby died. And it was, and then we tried again. And I changed doctors. I changed status at my doctor's. My folder was red, and I was a high-risk patient. And I wasn't on bed rest, and then I had another 5-month miscarriage. So after 3, at this point, my husband and I were married, but I was ready to divorce him in the name of love. Because I felt there was something wrong with me, and why should I make him suffer? And I tried again because I tried again. We talked about adoption, and he was down with it also. But I tried again because getting pregnant was never my problem. And I had the support of my parents. I also did not go out in public. I was on bed rest. So it was a lot easier when people weren't looking at my stomach or people around saying, how do you feel? I only stood up for 15 minutes a day. and I had the monitor in the house, and I tried because, like you, I am strong. But like you, we can both be broken down. But like you, I wanted a baby bad. And you will go on and try this again. And you'll take all the precautions that your doctors say, plus more. And our little Kevin now is 9 years old. And I don't want to test the blessing, so we will not be doing that again because I'm a problematic pregnancy. I don't want to test the blessing. So you try again. Get yourself in a high-risk situation. So all hands on deck when you go in the doctor's office, okay?
Wendy just had thick skin, and she just took all the criticism to the chin. Like when she did the Aaliyah documentary, and it was trash and horrible, and they dragged her.
I see my Aaliyah movie broke the internet this weekend. Everybody got an opinion. Well, I must tell you, whether you loved or hate, you watched. It was the second highest rated movie on all of cable this year so far. We all have opinions, but I must say, if you still want to see the Aaliyah movie, it comes on tonight at 8 o'clock on Lifetime.
But it was some stuff that has happened over the years that I feel like this is what really got her to this point. One being is I think Wendy Williams knew too much information. Like I stated earlier in this video, she used to expose all of those stuff about R. Kelly and Diddy and Jay-Z. And powerful people. Now, Wendy was powerful herself because they would always feed her stuff, but Wendy knew a lot of stuff. Now, on top of knowing a lot of stuff, that's one of the reasons why Wendy said she would never have like celebrity friends. Because it's like a thing of if I'm talking about you, like how are the worlds gonna coexist? Now, she did have a few. Like she stated that Whoopi Goldberg invited her over for dinner, but her and Nene kind of, Black Chyna's still with her to this day. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, she would never create friends. At one point, a friendship or just, you know, a relationship that was brewing with her was her relationship with the Kardashians. You know, Kim and Kris, they stopped by her show. Kim was actually on her show when she did that infamous Honey, which you put a bumper sticker on a Bentley and asked about a tattoo.
Thought that you don't have tattoos anywhere.
No. Honey, would you put a bumper sticker on a Bentley? But you would on a Ferrari. You would on a Ferrari, because Chloe's a Ferrari.
It's all about Kim.
I don't want a Bentley anyway.
But I noticed over the years, they would stop going on Wendy's show because Wendy would be on their neck. I'm talking about all bets are off.
But now it seems that the show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, may be over too. Could that be true? I mean, this family was so cute. Do you remember in 2007 when the show first started and that whistling theme song just seemed to really fit? No. It just really fit the cuteness of the family, and now you look at them demonic-like.
But Wendy Williams did something one year. She said that she does not believe that Kim and Kanye is going to have a long marriage. And she was like, if Kanye and Kim stay married longer than, what, the 73 days when she was married to Chris Humphries, it was like, if they stay together past them 73 days, she'll eat her words and she'll eat crow. Now, eating crow is just like a saying that a lot of people would say when it means like, oh, I made myself look dumb. But she told the audience, she told the viewers, once they stayed married past that 73-day mark, it was a whole episode dedicated to Wendy Williams eat crow. So on that episode, Wendy Williams ate crow, and I just feel like it just hasn't been the same ever since.
I can taste the iron in it.
That's not for everybody, but some people see crow represented as a bad omen. Crows is always what you see when the dead or misfortune is coming. So to actually sit there and eat that and inject it into the body, he injected that bad omen and that bad energy into her, and everything else just kind of went downhill. Now, one thing a lot of people had a lot to say about Wendy over the years was her husband. They never liked her husband. They always felt like her husband was a bully. But one thing about it, the husband did protect Wendy from a lot of stuff. The husband kind of kept Wendy in line. Made sure she got up, got to work on time, was sober, did this. He was her manager in a sense. It will always be rumors about if Wendy is going to leave her husband, is she had enough, because it's always been cheating allegations out there. But one thing Wendy always stand 10 toes behind, she was gonna stay by her man. I remember that episode when she came back with the bob and she said,
I know what you've been seeing, and I knew what the streets have been talking about. I am still very much in love with my husband, and anybody who's been married for 5 minutes or 500 years, you know. Marriages have ebbs and flows. Marriages are not easy. And don't ask me about mine until you see this gone. And it ain't going anywhere.
She was staying by her man. You know, Wendy Williams' husband's name is Kevin Hunter. And Wendy made it clear that she was sticking with Kevin. However, Kevin started having a mistress. And that mistress and Kevin started getting pictured out. Started being pictures of them out and about, on vacation. It got real messy. Now, the streets say they've been having an affair for like 15 years, but what is always known is that Wendy Williams and Charlamagne kind of had a falling out because Charlamagne is actually the one who introduced Kevin to this mistress.
Now, that is just what Kevin Hunter says. Kevin Hunter says that Charlamagne introduced him to that mistress. But just to run down a brief history of Charlamagne and Wendy Williams' relationship, Charlamagne used to work for Wendy Williams, and he was actually in the background of that clip I played earlier.
If you want to stay.
Charlamagne was fired back in 2008, and they said it was due to downsizing, but Charlamagne has always stated he does not like Kevin Hunter. It felt like he was bullied, felt like he was part of the reason as to why he lost his job. So that's why there's always been bad blood between Wendy and Charlamagne, was mainly due to Kevin Hunter.
Now, for the most part, I think it hurt Wendy, but you know, she was able to turn a blind eye until he slipped up and got her pregnant and had a baby with her. Wendy said the day that he came in and told him, was like, Wendy, you know, she's pregnant. Wendy said, oh, it's time for a divorce.
This is also the time when Wendy Williams had announced that she was living in a sober house.
So, you know me for being a very open and truthful person, and I've got more to the story for you. Well, for some time now, and even today and beyond, I have been living in a sober house. I am driven by my 24-hour sober coach back to a home that I live in here in the in the tri-state with a bunch of smelly boys who've become my family. Doors locked by 10 p.m. Lights out by 10 p.m. So I go to my room and I stare at the ceiling and I fall asleep to wake up to come back here to see you.
So when Wendy finally started being like taking that ring off and showing out, hey, man, people was rooting for her.
You know, I've been dealing with issues with addiction, alcoholism, and I have a whole new life that I planned for myself and my son. When you lay in a room with no TV and 4 gray walls all day, and no telephone at your already, and you lay there and you think about your life. This is my life at the sober house. It's one of the best things, honestly, that could have ever happened to me. Because, you know, when you think about your life, you think about, you know, how you've been delivering to the world, especially here on the show. You know, it's no secret we're friends, and sometimes you don't like me. But either way, thank you for watching every day. And addressing my sobriety, my addiction head on, has really helped me sort out every single compartment of my life. I have a commitment to me and my son to come out of here better, stronger, and faster than ever. And by the way, I will still commit, because you'll forget about my business any moment now. And then I commit that the motto of this show will always be, their business is our business.
But there started to be another in decline. Kevin, although he was a bad husband, he was one of the ones keeping her alive. I think with Wendy, she just couldn't deal with that baby. That baby was something, this is
And I can't speak for Wendy, but I think the way she was feeling in that situation while the baby was the last straw, it's just, you've seen like how it was such a struggle for me to produce your child. Like, you've seen all the miscarriages I went through. You've seen how like that broke me. And it's one thing to step outside this marriage and go do what you do and be messy. But the fact that you stepped outside this marriage and you gave her your seed, you gave her something that for years it was a struggle for me. Our son is something that we are supposed to share. You go out and you go knock somebody else up and you go give it to her so easily. Yeah, I would see how that would be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Wendy said, I don't give a damn about her or that baby. So they're getting a divorce. In the midst of them getting a divorce, I think Wendy is trying to do all of this stuff on her own, but she just can't. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot that goes on, especially when you don't have the right people around you. Now, here's some stuff that follow. I remember on Halloween, let me know if you remember this, but do you remember on Halloween when Wendy Williams fainted?
How you doing? Halloween costume contest. We do it every year. It's always a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
A lot of people thought she fainted because she was on drugs, but she was really just stressed and overheated and overworked.
At this point, Wendy starts telling us a little bit of her health issues. So she reveals to us that she has issues with the thyroid and the Graves' disease. She also tells us about this foot disorder she has, which is called lymphedema. And that affects her feet to where her feet swells. She had to sit in like a foot machine, and she also could never wear heels again. So that's when she switched over to the sneakers.
So she's doing her show per usual, and she's having some drama. She's having her controversy. That's granted. Let's give it. Now, one thing I will say that I think caught a lot of people off guard was in 2020. Now, as you know, and what's going on heavily. And one thing Wendy Williams had always been adamant about is that she's not taking the... She did an interview with Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz was trying to tell her the benefits of it and how it's really safe. She said, I don't trust it. No, I'm not doing it.
So, are you planning on getting your vaccine?
No.
No.
No. I don't trust it. I've never gotten the flu shot either, though, and you and I have talked about that, and several of the doctors on my team talked to me about, Wendy, we'll get the flu shot. I've never had the flu. I'm not getting a flu shot. I very rarely get a cold. I never have headaches. I don't take an aspirin because I feel my heart murmur or something like that. I'm not getting, no, I don't trust it. There, I said it. Yeah.
So let me go back to for a second, because what you say and believe is so important to a lot of people. I mean, millions and millions of Americans are going to say, Wendy Williams didn't get a vaccine, so I don't want to get a vaccine. So let me just ask you, if there's anything that could happen that would make you feel comfortable.
I'm not getting the vaccine. Listen, 10 million people and more have the flu, and how many people per year catch the flu? You know, no, I'm not getting the vaccine, Dr. Oz. I'm not. I don't trust it.
And is there something in particular you don't trust about it? The fact that it was made quickly, the fact that we don't have enough follow-up? What specifically is bothering you about it?
Doctors are really smart people, but doctors don't know everything. And that's been proven as well. I'm not getting the vaccine.
I think that pissed a lot of people off. You gotta keep in mind, she's on a major network. I think from there, that's when they really started to do this work behind the scene to try to get her out of here. So they have a narrative, you know. She's refusing to take the jab, but she's putting a lot of fearmonger into the environment. She's starting to crumble a little. She's starting to slur on her words and stuff.
And the understanding is that, Morning, you know, I'm gonna get her back. Alan doesn't want her. This is all for a plot line. Danielle is smart. She knows the score. Oh, I'm exhausted.
This is what I feel like was the final nail in the coffin for Wendy Williams' mental health. Her mother passed away. Now, if you know Wendy Williams, her mother was a big thing to her. She had a Pacific seat in that audience dedicated to her mother. Her mother would always come and sit there. She loved her mother. Her mother was her everything to her. So when her mother passed away, that's when we started to see everything crumble.
Very long shorts underneath. It's just that in the name of my mother, because my mother, she's like, Wendy, you got them. They're long. You show them. She also talked me into picking out this outfit today. She's also died. Gone is the best mother, the best girlfriend that a girl could ever have. And I feel fortunate that I had her in my life all of my 56 years.
After the mother passed, I remember it was a lot of rumbling because there was like, Wendy didn't go to the funeral. Her, Kevin, and her son ended up going out to eat, and during that era, she started getting into it real heavily with her brother.
Aren't you fostering the importance of family, even to your son? We went to our grandparents or our grandfather's funeral and great-grandmother. Why do you have to, I mean, why lunch? Why my videos? And then you're gonna say you don't know anything about them. You know, come on, man. The main thing that I'm asking you, Wendy, is please tell Daddy why you didn't attend the funeral.
Mommy, let me tell you something right now. All you are is my brother. You better stop talking the way you're talking, because now it's dripping into my comment page. See, I wasn't searching for Tommy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was simply looking about how people felt about last week's shows, or the dresses, or the guests we had on. We do a nice production here. I'm minding my own WendyShow.com business.
Right.
And I'm seeing a lot of comments about your brother doesn't like you, or you better watch your back because your brother's on one. Or, Wendy, I can't believe you're this kind of person, or that he's pegging me to be a person that I am not. Honey, you don't want me to start pegging you to be the person that you are. With full-blown receipts. I could fill the audience with receipts.
But first, and this will be my last time addressing yesterday, because I talked to my dad, and my dad said, Wendy, I'm not mad at you. You did the right thing. I said, Dad, but there's more to the story and you know it. So here it is. Count me down because I don't want to spend more than a minute and a half on this. Seriously. Tommy, you know I was at Mommy's service. And you know she looked beautiful in her casket. And you know that you fist fought a loving member of our family, half your age, who was supposed to be somebody, a blood relative, everyone. Not my son. My son is in the back, shocked that he's at his grandmother's funeral, studying for midterm. And I'm going between a closed service, saying hello to people, and also my son wanted me to quiz him so that he gets an A. You started a fight over an open casket right there with my mother. Thank God we were at a civilized funeral home. And the man of the funeral home blocked so Mommy wouldn't fall out and there'd be a catastrophe. And for all of you all who wonder why I said on that day I appreciated my ex-husband more than I could ever appreciate my brother, it's because my ex-husband was invited to be there and you fought with our family member. And my ex-husband came back to my son and I, and he said, I know it's not my place. By the way, he smelled really good and was Dior up and down. That was that, no, we're not getting back together. Follow what I'm saying to you. My son and I are sitting here studying. I'm trying to ignore what's going on over there, looking to make sure that my father's okay. My sister was kind of handling everything, and I was removed. And Big Kev said, I need to break this up. This is not right. Your mother wouldn't, this is not right. So I said, all right, Kevin, you do this, but please don't throw fists and stuff because you will be the one blamed. And me and your son will go to court and defend you all the way to the end because we see. Do you understand the difference between he will always be my ex-husband? I said to my son, I said, you know, your dad is really something else. I don't want to mislead you or guide you into thinking that we're getting. He said, Mom, I know. I said, you want to just the three of us go out and grab something to eat and also bring stuff over to Aunt Wanda's? Do you want to just like change the mood and celebrate family and find it in our hearts to kind of not forgive, but move on in the name of the service and Papa and the rest of us? And my son said, yeah. And that's why we went out to eat afterwards, the three of us.
Side note, really quick, because this is some heavy stuff. This is actually during the virtual audience era, and I actually had got tickets to go see Wendy Williams virtually, so I'm just going to insert that clip of when I was on the show.
Yo, Wendy today. Hold on, let me show y'all. That's me. I remember the last couple episodes of the Wendy Williams show was that all black outfit that I could find it. Everybody in the comment section was like, she just seemed off. She's slurring her words. She doesn't look good.
When Alan took your hand, where was the boulder? Like, who has boulders on their steps? Just saying.
Me. I think
You got your shoe cam. You've got your cheetah prints, which you know we at the show. Oh. Shoe cam, please.
that's so beautiful.
A lot of people thought she was back using, so they was like, you know, check in on Wendy Williams. She didn't have to proceed to take a hiatus from everything, and that's when she would have like the guest host coming in, like, who is it? Remy Ma and Fat Joe and other people coming in to do the Wendy Williams show, but Wendy just had to take a step back. And then after she took her mental hiatus, she lost her show, and her show was like her baby. That's all she ever wanted to. She wanted to just get back to do her show, but she lost her show. And I don't think she could really come to terms with losing her show. And they took her show and they gave it to Sherry Shepherd. And the network just dropped her like a bad habit. Gave Sherry Wendy Williams time slot. They didn't even do like a dedication episode. They just posted a picture of her old channels like take care, and they just moved on to the next person.
And when I say like dropped her like a bad habit, I mean that. Like when the show was over, they deleted her YouTube page, they deleted the Instagram page. So even if you want to go back and watch like old clips, you couldn't do it because they just got rid of everything pertaining to Wendy Williams.
And then the whole issue with the Wells Fargo and them locking her out her account.
Has no questions and answers with regarding my money. This is not fair. And Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo have this guardianship petition about keeping me away from my money. This is not right. And you know this is not fair. And this guy named Bernie Young, I know for a fact that Bernie Young used my American Express card to hire an attorney to file a petition against me. That was done with my American Express card. Bernie Young, you're no good. And this is not fair at all, you know? And then there's this person, a former doctor, okay, had medical information about me that I never even got. It was sent over to Lori Schiller. So I haven't gotten the stuff. I fired the doctor. And again, all I want to know is where is my money? This is not right. And certainly, this is not fair. This is not.
In which this whole situation is still confusing to me because it's like, why would they lock her out her account and not let her have access to her money and then order a court-ordered guardianship? That situation is still confusing. Like I'm watching a documentary and I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. If her son was already doing the best he can, granted, they tried to throw the son in the book because there's like the son was using all of Wendy's expenses. But you gotta understand, Wendy had a lot of money. I guess from being a son myself, Wendy was okay with a lot of purchases. Like I know there was like $120,000 in the birthday thing, but Wendy approved him. That's why he said it was my approval. I just think back to the time when I had my mama card attached to my Uber Eats and I was running up a check. My mama had to tell me, boy, take my card off of Uber. I know I told you for a mercy, but take my card off of Uber Eats.
It's one of those things where my mama say I stole from her. Would I say I stole from my mama? Absolutely not. I just went a little crazy, but it's not. I didn't like how they was trying to make it seem like he was stealing money from her, because I feel like any mother and son combination know, like, you know, your kid gets a little crazy sometimes and you got a really bad. But I don't think it's a thing like he stole from her. Wendy was okay with all of those purchases. And then like $100,000 to a multimillionaire is nothing. Then with this Where is Wendy Williams documentary, who signed off on this? Because you're showing Wendy in like the most crazies of light, but I feel like it put more eyes on the people involved and make them look at them sideways before they look at Wendy Williams sideways. And the reports was already coming out that she is diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia and aphasia. We're seeing her deteriorate and forget the most simple things like the Oscars.
Wendy, would you want to go to the Oscars?
Oscars?
Yeah. This weekend?
What's Oscars?
Well, the award show.
Now, you can argue it's free game, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with a woman with dementia. Eventually, people are going to be like, okay, well, it's only so much she can do. Like, who are these people in her camp? Who are these people in her care? People are going to ask questions. Even got Wendy Williams taking her wig off. You know one thing about Wendy, she never took her wig off in front of the cameras. Now, Blac Chyna and Wendy, they have always had a good relationship. You remember back in the day, Wendy talked about Blac Chyna on the show. Chyna took it with a grain of salt. She went on the show, and then Chyna used to have Wendy outside. Like, she used to have Wendy outside with her shorts. They used to be at festivals, but if I had to say it how I mean it, I don't know if Blac Chyna intentions are always pure. And I say this because I just see her as a girl who sees opportunities. You know, she see a network, lights, camera, actions, and she's gonna take any opportunity to continue to put herself in a good light. Now, that's a video within itself, but I just don't know if I always question her real intentions. I think she just sees everything as, hey, this is a motive. That's not to take away from their friendship or relationship. It could be a 2-for-1. I am concerned about Wendy and I want to check on her, but in the same breath, appearing on this documentary and showing that I have a heart, this is a great way to boost the positive morale within me.
But I say all this to say, I think the ultimate downfall to Wendy Williams was her. Let's just talk about it. I think the ultimate downfall to Wendy Williams was her. Because a lot of people said it's karma. One thing about it, Wendy ain't never cared if y'all talk about her. Wendy loved to be talked about. Wendy never cared about people making her a hot topic because she always chalked it up to a thing. That's what comes with the game. Me talking about Wendy right now, hey, it is what it is. Chalk it up to the game. Drag me. But the one thing that Wendy Williams could never fathom, the one thing that Wendy Williams could never truly understand is her.
I think one thing about it, you can never hurt Wendy Williams doing commentary, but the one thing that can hurt her feelings is betrayal. The one thing that was her Achilles heels is people that she put on a pedestal betraying her and hurting her. Some people only value love and family, and it's like a thing, I have everything, you know, like she has the money, she has the perks, she has the glam, she has it all, but she could really probably care less about that because why can't I find someone that not only love me but stay loyal to me? And then it's like a thing, you see your family starts to fall off, that could be hurtful.
She was devastated. She was hurt. And then with her mother passing away, her mother is her best friend. Ever since I found out a lot of stuff about dementia in the spiritual realm and how a lot of people with dementia, they become so traumatized in the brain aspect they choose to forget because that's the only way they survive. It just made me look at a lot of stuff differently. Now that I'm seeing that Wendy Williams is diagnosed with dementia, it was trauma back to back happening to her. And I've been seeing people saying stuff like, oh, I understand she has dementia, but she's being mean because of these clips.
Should we get liposuction? Go downstairs, please, and order something and make you fatter.
I'm like, that's literally dementia. Like, that's literally how people are. But it's like they don't know. I saw this one woman going off on her child, and she was like, B, you ain't my child. I would never have a child like you. But they don't know. It comes with dementia. One thing about it, you could say Wendy Williams was mean. You could say she did too much. You could say she was whatever. But let me tell you something. Every time some mess happens, what do people look for? We need Wendy. I miss Wendy because nobody's ever going to be able to do it like her. Everybody wants to play it safe. Everybody wants to just go with the grain and be liked. Wendy did not care about being liked or disliked. She was going to say how you mean. And one thing that she always said that I always say with my channel, she said, you know, you'll probably watch me and you might be like, that damn Wendy. I can't stand her. I'm turning her off. But then one day you might be clicking through and you might be like, what that damn Wendy said? And then we come back with laughter and we talk. That's how I on my YouTube channel. Some of y'all might get pissed off with that damn party next door, that damn unpopular party. But, you know, you come back and we all have a good kiki. It's really sad because I feel like people think personalities like that, like they have it all. But it's just like, what do you do when you do have it all, but you have the things that money can't buy? Money can't buy true love. Money can't buy friends. Money can't buy happiness. What do you do?
Life could be worse. No, not really. This is the worst.
This is the worst.
This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
But that's all I have. I just want to put my 2 cents on this whole Wendy Williams situation. What do y'all think? Do y'all agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Put all your thoughts in the comment section below and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.